In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an automation for a customized lead magnet using an AI voice that directly goes to someone's email so they can listen to your report, your strategy, whatever it is that you've decided to customize. This lead magnet will work for any type of business. So this will work for B2B businesses. This will work for B2C businesses. You can put together a audit of someone's social media. You can do a report, strategizing different information that they put in this form. The possibilities are endless. What really sets this lead magnet apart is that it's fully customizable, and it's fully customized based upon the user input. So someone is going to come to your website, they're going to put in their information, and then AI is going to take that information and write a custom report for them. On top of that, we're not just sending a boring email, right, that has all the information on it, or maybe a Google Docs that has 3 or 4 pages worth of information. We are actually using an AI voice so it can actually read this to the lead or the person who's actually filling out your information. Simply because this is something new, this is something that's a twist, this will stand out in their mind, and they will look to you as someone who can potentially help them with whatever it is that you're selling. So I'm super excited to show you this automation. It's really straightforward. It's not that many modules to put together, but we are going to use a couple of different things. We will be using AI table, of course, that's my favorite. We'll be using make.com, and we'll also be using 11 labs for the AI voice. So if you want any of these templates, any of these prompts, I have the automated content engine. I'll put the link down below so you can get a hold of the blueprints and everything else. But let's go ahead and get into this quick automation. So let's get into the scenario to create your customized lead magnet with an AI voice. So as you can see, it's not really that long, not really that complicated. It's going to be highly customizable depending on what you're doing with your business. So you can use this for like a social media audit. You can use this to give someone a personalized weight loss strategy. Whatever strategy or report you want to do, you can basically do that with this, simply because you are using the user's information that they are already putting in, and you're reworking that information to weave it into whatever it is that you are offering, okay? So long story short, we're going to get started with a form. This form is going to have whatever it is that you need to ask somebody in order to create whatever it is you're creating, right? So in my case, I am using this for an AI lead generation strategy. So besides the regular email and first name, I'm asking them things specific to their lead generation strategy, to their content, if they use cold outreach, things of that nature. I've kept it to about 10 questions total because people do get tired of answering questions and filling out forms. So what I have up here, these first 4 are just the generalized information. So you could probably get away with just doing the first name and email, but I added in the last name and business name simply because I want the ability to actually put this in my CRM after somebody fills this out. So you can take a look. So I'm asking basically, what's your biggest lead generation challenge right now? What social media platforms are you on? What type of business do you have? Just whatever you feel is important to generate your report. So from that form, this information is going to go into a sleep function. I have that here just for a little pause. It's not actually necessary, but I just didn't want the scenario zooming through everything. After that, it's going to go into ChatGPT, and I have it as message an assistant versus complete a completion or create a completion, simply because I have created an assistant in the back end of ChatGPT, and I have entered in the information here on how I want my strategy report written. And I had to put specific things in my assistant on the back end saying that this is actually conversational. This is not going to be a strategy report that is written on a document. This is going to be a strategy report that is actually dictated. So I want to make sure the information is conversational, okay? In addition to that, you're going to want to use the information from the form and put that within your message. So as you can see here, I've told it to use this information to build a custom AI lead gen strategy using the prompt given to ChatGPT. And then I've added in everything that I wanted it to take into consideration, the questions I wanted to take into consideration. So right here, I have first name, but I don't have last name because I don't want to use somebody's last name to address them. So I'm going to address them by their first name. And then I added in all the other relevant questions. From here, it's pretty detailed on what I've asked it to do, simply because I want it to get this right, and simply because when people are filling out the information, this is actually going to be sent to them via email. It's nothing that I'm checking on. I have done a couple of test runs and everything, and it sounds great to me. So I wanted to make sure that it was actually putting out the same information that I have as far as, what is being put in the form and what my business actually does. So I didn't want there to be a disconnect either. So I did tell GPT and tell the assistant that I don't want you to go off on a tangent about things, hypothetical things that could be done. I want you to tell this person what I can do as a business owner to help your business, okay? In addition to tailoring that to whatever it is that they're putting in their form. So right here, I gave it an example report, a conversational report that can actually be dictated. So I gave it the example here. Further on down, I gave it a little bit more information. Only give responses based on their answers and that apply to them. If their business specifically is in the B2C sector, cold email will not work, so don't suggest that method. I also included information about how to give someone value to make it an actionable step for them. In addition to that, I put in a little bit of information depending on what kind of social media platform that they said they were active on. So I gave it a couple pointers there. Okay, so this is extremely long because I wanted to make sure that it gave specific information. Moving on, after this assistant actually writes this report for me, it goes on to 11 Labs. So in 11 Labs, they have AI generated voices that you can use. And I've actually cloned my voice to specifically use for this lead magnet. I don't think my voice, my cloned voice sounds quite like me. My daughter doesn't think it sounds quite like me, but my dad thinks it sounds familiar, right? So I'm going to let you guys listen to it here in a little bit when I run this scenario. But here on 11 Labs, you can just see that, I have my voice here. It's my clone voice. And then the output is going to be this text. This text is going to be the output of what the assistant did, right? Next, we are moving on to Google Drive. So I have everything stored in Google Drive versus AI table because it's just going to be easier for me to keep all the leads in one spot because that's where I've been putting them. So Google Drive is actually creating a folder, and you're going to have to connect this to your Google Drive account, obviously, and you're going to put it in whatever folder location you want to put it. So there's really not much going on here. You just want to make sure you've got your new folder's name and whatever it is that you're doing. So the folder at first was directed towards like file name, and that was a little confusing because it would come out as the date and the time that this was made, but you can't really keep up with that. So I do suggest you naming this with the first name, last name based upon your form, okay? And then next we're going to move on to Google Drive still, and we're going to upload a file this time. So there's not much going on here either, but we're just putting in the folder ID here. and then the file name here, or the file, right? Okay, next is going to be get a share link. So we are getting a share link in Google Drive, and this information is going to be able to go into our email. Lastly is the actual email that someone is going to receive with their audio narration of you going over their strategy or report. So we are putting in the email address, and this is coming from your initial form that they filled out. So you can use any form. So I use AI Table, but if you wanted to keep it with Google, you can do Google Forms. You could do your CRM. It does not matter how this actually starts, but you're just getting this generalized information here. So you want that email address there. And then the subject line. The subject line can actually stay the same for everybody. So it's just your AI lead generation strategy, and then your first name or their first name. And then just the small little information here. So I may flesh this out. Right now, testing this is just a really short email just to see how everything worked. And I just said, I just finished building your custom AI lead generation strategy. Get out a piece of paper, open up your favorite notes apps to take notes. Feel free to listen to it here and take notes, okay? So with that being said, let's go ahead and run this scenario. So I'm running it with already previously inputted information here. Let me see if that'll still work while we're doing this live. So actually, I don't have it set up that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my form here, and I'm actually going to fill it out in real time. And let's see, what's my biggest lead generation challenge? Not getting enough leads. And what platform I use most. Actually, let's change this. Let's do LinkedIn. What type of business do I have? So I can't type and talk at the same time. Who's my target audience? What's my biggest content marketing pain? Not having enough time. And then, have you tried cold outreach? No, but I'm open. Okay. So with that being said, let's go ahead and submit this and see if this actually worked. And it looked like it did. And I apologize. You know, this sleep here was actually set for 45 seconds. That's a long time. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video right here. And then after the sleep is done, I'm going to restart it and see. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. I set it for 15 seconds. I did change that because it was originally set at 45. So never mind. So let's go on. It is moving right along. And now we can see that we are creating the clone voice here. This takes a little bit of time, but not too much. So after this, everything should move fairly quickly. And then I'm going to let you guys hear the voice. And you guys tell me if you think it sounds like me at all. So what's happening basically is that the voice and the report that's coming out is typically, it seems to be a little bit more than 3 minutes long. So I'll let you guys be the judge. So okay, you guys, so it looks like the scenario is completely done. As you can see, everything went through, everything completed without any errors. So let's see how this sounds. Actually, I'll show you the email that came in. So let's go to my email. All right, so as you can see, here is my email. Here is the time 0 minutes ago. Hey, Nicole, I just finished building your custom AI strategy. I don't like the way that this is set up, so I'm going to have to go through and make sure it's HTML for email. And then on top of that, for some reason, I have 2 attachments. I'm going to go through and make a change here and see if I can just get one. But let me go ahead and click on this, because this should directly take me to the actual audio. I could probably get away without putting in an attachment if I just use this. So let me click on this. Okay, so what's happened is it's downloaded. So you see that there, but let's go ahead and play it.
Hi, Nicole. Nachole here. Thanks for opting into the AI Lead Gen and Content Automation Report. Get comfy, because we're about to dive deep into a personalized strategy that will transform your lead generation efforts. Have your notebook handy, because you'll want to jot down these golden nuggets. You mentioned wanting to generate new leads for your mic.
Okay, so there is the customized strategy audio. As you can see, it's about 3 minutes and 11 seconds. I don't think the voice sounds too much like me, but it's good enough. It does not have to sound like me, but I think it's a really cool lead magnet to have. I'm just gonna have to go into Make and figure out exactly why I have 2 attachments showing up versus that one. So as you can see, I've got 1 attachment here, but maybe if I take this off and rerun the scenario again, then that double attachment would come off. But it's not really too big of a deal for me, considering the fact that I can just use this link here. And I mean, overall, this is a pretty solid automation to use for customized lead magnets for your business. But in the meantime, if you guys have any questions about anything, let me know down in the comments. If you want this blueprint, if you want these prompts, I'm going to leave a link down below for the automated content engine, where I put all of my blueprints and all of my prompts and all of my information and automations in for one cost, no ongoing fee. And I'll have that here uploaded here pretty soon. But in the meantime, if you have any questions about anything, let me know in the comments. Please like this video, please subscribe, and please share with others.